Good morning from Occupy the Land, occupytheland.org. We're finally on the land. We got 18 acres that out in the west desert. But the plan mainly was to get access out here. There was trails. And Donna, she's a real estate agent, and she went looking for land. We've been looking hundreds of places. We've looked all over the state, around the valley, and so on. And she finally made it out here. And her first impression, she knew I had to see it. So what was your experience when you got out here?
Well, we have been looking for land for years in the rural areas around the Phoenix metropolitan area, because we wanted to be close to family. And for years we looked, and the prices were not good, or we were looking for something very specific for what we had in mind, and for building a homestead. And so when I knew about this piece of land for a while, but it was so remote that I did attempt to come one time, but I just turned back because it was too treacherous. So when I was getting frustrated, I just thought, well, I'll just go check it out. I had a different car that was 4-wheel drive, so I made it out here, and I absolutely loved it. It was relatively flat, but with a very gentle slope, with a couple of gentle washes through it, and not in a floodplain. And it's got mountain views, and it is very remote, but it feels like there's life here. So when I came, I fell in love with it. I actually just walked it for a couple of hours. I was out here, and then I decided whether I should tell her, and you're not, because I knew he would love it, and I was not gonna look forward to that drive all the time. But he loved it as well. Like, he came out, and it was exactly what we needed. So we moved forward with the purchase. And so here we are now, finally in December of 2024. We're on the land. We've moved our bus here, and so now we can really get started. We did a lot of prep work, but now we can really get started.
It was it's December 3rd now.
Yes,
I think we got on Saturday, November 30th. We made it in November,
Right.
But we had purchased it March, April.
It was in the early March.
So we got it. And it was just desert out in the middle of. And the one thing that we knew, we had to have road and to be able to bring the bus in. This was open range. Well, it still is open range for cattle. And that's why it even has trails. But private land out here, it was for sale. We got a good deal on it because it was so remote. But I knew that we had to have road to bring the bus in. The bus was not going to make it. And so it's probably it's almost 4 miles of road. Well, that was 120 billion degrees, and people that have been following us, saw that I had, it was like 118 every day for a long time.
Air-conditioned cab, come on.
I had to get out to get in the truck to pull the trailer. It was sand. So the thing is that the trails have become washes, over decades. I mean, this is, you'll see on some of the photos, you'll see little buildings and so on. That was from 40s, 50s, a long time ago, that ranch hands would come out here in the winter and rustle the cattle, and then they would take them down. About a mile away is where the cowboys are in a roundup, and then they take them up north for the summer. Well, this was exactly what I wanted. I needed a slight topography from one corner to the other corner is a drop of only 10 feet. So it allows me to control the water, and we can have it soak into the ground. We have an auger. You'll see a lot of us, just poking the holes into the clay. And then we do check dams on the washes. So if we ever get a monsoon again,
it'll not rained since we purchased the property. Not one drop.
I mean, it is, it's desert. But when it does, it will. And it gave me time to get things ready. And we were ready for the monsoon, barely, and then it didn't rain. So I'm like, okay, so I get more done. But when it does, the sheeting that happens, it flows off of the clay into these small washes, and then it goes off the property. But we have to stop it so that it penetrates the ground. Little check dams. When we make these augerings into the soil, it'll charge. We back it up, make it a few inches deep, and it will charge the clay, and it will hold all that water so we can plant trees. So this is what the plan is, and why I needed a slight topography. I didn't want it real rough or canyons or any of that kind of stuff. I just need, and it's 18 acres. Now we're going to develop probably about half of that, and the rest of it for our family and so on. We put it in the family trust. This is for 4 kids and 12 grandkids. They're do whatever they want. Well, they're starting to come out and take a look and like, ooh. And, my daughter and her family and my son-in-law, man, he was having fun with the tractor. So get the kids out here and they see a pile of dirt and they'll just drop down and start digging. I mean, it's going to be awesome. But what we had to do is we had to do the roads. This was months with this tractor, and it has a back blade that we pull and carve, top and tilt, and so I could carve the desert into what I needed. Then we had all that sand that was on the wash roads that was, 12, 16 inches deep in a lot of places, and it took me months, hundreds of loads of sand and gravel to put to where it's not moon dust, you can just sink down in, so that we could bring the bus in. And when we came in, it was how many miles from the highway up there to get? It's at least
from the highway, probably 4 miles, 5 miles from the highway on the dusty dirt road.
So this is about half of that one. I didn't have to totally do, but there's a north and a south entrance in here, and from the north entrance is the one that the bus was going to make it. We're going to be kind of clandestine exactly where we're at. I mean, people are going to figure it out, but we're limited in what we're willing to share because we want to get prepared for the eventual battle. If the man ever finds us and comes out and wants to play, but we got ideas. It really became important to me when it has been for decades. We've been wanting to do this. But when you got Klaus Schwab and the World Economic Forum saying you'll own nothing and here's your happy shot, this is what we knew they were talking about. They don't want you self-sufficient. They don't want you being able to grow your own food, have your own water, raise your own children, build your own home. This is, gives you a little bit too much independence. So what we had done is we wanted to be able to control the water. With 18 acres, we get like 7 inches a year, but it usually comes all at one time. And, just 18 acres, if we just contain the water that falls on our property, if we could store it, which we've done, and you'll see a lot, the earthworks and waterworks for that 1 acre foot that we can retain is 320-something thousand gallons of water. So we have access to water nearby, neighbor, friends, even farmers out there say, yeah, you can fill up your thing. We don't care. But the main thing is we want to be self-sufficient on the captured rainwater that we do directly and indirectly that comes in the flow from the monsoon. We can capture that. So that is, we could do a well, but the well could be anywhere from $50,000 to $70,000 for what we want to do. And that's a possibility. We got a good deal on the land. We bought the tractor. We put everything into this, and we still have some resources. So, if silver and crypto keep going up, we'll be okay. But the well is a possibility, and we may do it. But I really want to try. We don't have that much need for water. We've been living in the bus on a couple 100 gallons of water a month. I mean, we're fine. But if we're going to do any animal husbandry, chickens, any other animals, and certainly growing gardens, and the big reason we want to retain the water is so that we can plant trees. And that's already been planned, but I needed infrastructure. And if you look at the aerials, you'll see I've been busy. But it's not just carving it out. It's covering it with sand, like a couple of inches, 3, 4, 5, 6 inches of sand and gravel that I got plenty of that. And then we're going to be doing as we're digging the sand dam, the pond that'll be filled with sand. You won't even see the water. And then we have a tank in the bottom of it that will accumulate it and pump it from that. And then we'll filter and so on. But the main thing is that we're going to rely on God's good graces. We want to do that first. And then if we have to, we'll get the well. But we don't need it for a while, but we needed to plan for it. And we needed to put a lot of sand and and it kind of organically grew to where, this road was because it went to where we wanted to go. And this one was bypassing a lot of the wash. And this area, fortunately, where we did the clearing is about in the center of the property. So this is something we're going to take you on this right. It's going to be what we're doing and not what you should be doing. This is what we're doing. And we're going to be doing a lot of experimenting. We've watched 15 gazillion, YouTube channels and so on. And on Occupy the Land, we put an area for the 6 or 7, projects of homesteading, a lot of them in Arizona, that were inspiring to us for different reasons. One, is just, wheelbarrow, number 10 can and filling bags. I mean, and then there's earth bags that's done with a family and their 4 children. And then you have rain catching, all kinds of different stuff. Well, what we knew from experiencing going to these workshops and helping and so on, it's a lot of manual labor. So I go, nope, need a tractor. So we did the tractor to make this possible. And we have mixing buckets for the concrete. We have, the back dragging, different kind of buckets, for trench out backhoe. We got it. So I don't have any excuses. Then we started accumulating things like aluminum posts and, that were donated or got a cheap price, and you're on OfferUp, Facebook, Marketplace, Craigslist, whatever, to get a bunch of stuff. And there's a lot of things out there. And if you're patient and you take your time and you got kind of an overall vision, there's a lot of cool things that you can do. Well, now we're on the land. It's like 45 minutes for us to get out here from where we were. We were way out here staying with our friend. But now that we're on the land, we wake up and boom, here we go. It was the solar array we put up, so we got power right off the bat. We put up a third of our solar panels that we have for the main home, but we put them up so that we're just using part of it. It's a couple of thousand watts of power. We go in 100% every night on our bus.
Right.
I got to connect some more wires and so on, and combiner box of blah blah blah. So it'll double what we have already. So this is awesome. This is where we wanted to be, and the Love Bus is a comfortable place for us. Has been for how many years?
4.5 years.
Yeah, we left in
May of 2020
on the Love Bus Liberty Tour. Against mandates of the vaccine and all that. We traveled the country doing sign everywhere, a sign. Our activism that we were doing for that, and it's our time now. And this is our answer to everything. Occupy the land. This is what this whole thing is all about. From the beginning of the country, Thomas Jefferson was the yeoman farmer. We have people that are self-sustained Americans. Well, that's what we're doing. And we're going to be sharing this with you guys. We're going to show you all the stuff that as we're doing it, as we're learning, because we're experienced with a lot of different ways to use the material that we have. It's going to be mostly masonry. It's going to be concrete, Portland cement, aircrete, earth bags, where the cost is just Portland. We have the material here. That was one of the reasons that we wanted this kind of setting, is that the sand, the gravel, the rocks, we don't have a lot of big rocks. We got to go a couple of miles to go get rocks, those, yeah. But I don't really, it's going to be masonry. And if you look at our vision, Sean Holman, our architect and good friend in San Diego, has been helping us with all the planning and so on, and the site positioning of everything and getting the sun just right and the views. And Donna likes this vista that's over here, and I like the mountains back here. So we're both going to get what we want, I guarantee it. So this is just an introductory of we're on the land. Things are going to start going fast. We're going to start doing more documentation now, but videotaping and it gets in the way of work. And we had a timeline. We had to get rocking and rolling and whatnot so that we could get to the actual build now while it's nice. And it will be nice until end of May. It'll start getting warm. But I did it in the freaking summer. And now that we have all the power that we need for cooling, we can be fine. But I'm hoping to build the first of the domes for the complex that we have. The first home Well, first is going to be workshops. Everybody just get over that. You got to have a workshop first. So we're doing that. Then we'll bring you on that, and then we'll do the first dome for living. And but we want to build some of the outbuildings, the utility
and the
room.
fencing, because we have cattle that roam out here, and as you know, they can ruin just about anything.
They've been staying away.
Yeah, we heard them this morning, just as we started to film. We could hear them mooing down the road, but yeah, they're out here. We don't show themselves too much, but they are out here.
Yeah, you see their tracks everywhere, and animal tracks everywhere. We're going to be putting up game cameras so you can see, and we have night vision cameras. It's going to be beautiful, and we're going to take you on the ride. We just wanted you to know there was months of work went in just so we could get to this point. Now it's the fun part.
Yep.
Fun part.
Yep.
Stay for the fun. Peace.